Do you believe in ghosts?
Ooh. I feel like I have to believe in ghosts. If I like believe in like manifestation and like God and like like I can't not believe in ghosts, but ghosts don't scare me.
Me either.
Like I play on a Ouija board and like
I've done that.
So have I. Like
Yeah. Shit doesn't work.
yeah, I don't know. I can never tell if it's somebody else doing it or not.
Yo, me too.
Like it has to be. Come on.
In like high school, bro, all me and all these girls, like we're all sitting like by a
no
Ouija
way.
board. And we're like, all right, close the lights. And we'll like count down. And like, we all close our eyes. And of course, somebody has their eyes slightly open and is probably moving the shit on the board.
Light some candles.
Yeah.
No, I feel that. I had that experience too.
That is nuts. I did some weird stuff. Like,
Who hasn't? I mean, come on. Like what? Tell me another.
I used to sneak out in middle school.
In
out
middle
of my
school?
basement window. Yep.
You snuck out in middle school.
Yeah. But even though I could literally just text my mom and be like, hi, we're going out to walk around the block. And she'd be like, okay.
You just wanted to feel.
Yeah. So I would never forget me and this girl, Kayla. We were like best friends. She would sleep over and we would be like, all right, like let's sneak out. And like we just climb through my basement window and like just walk around the block. Like it's not even like we were like
go anywhere.
No. But like we just
so
felt
funny.
so badass.
No, that's so funny. I never snuck out. Never,
Really?
Never. Not once. You're welcome, Mom. I was a good kid. I was a good
Sorry, Mom.
child. No, never. Never snuck out.
That's funny.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I never even cut a class in high school.
And nah, I didn't really do that shit either.
I cut gym. Like once.
You told me that. I
like
think.
once, but that's it.
Yeah, I didn't really do that shit. I was a very good student. Like, I was like honor roll, like straight A's.
See, I didn't cut any classes, but I was not straight A's.
That's okay.
I was not honor roll.
That's okay.
I showed up.
Yeah. Hey, you did what you had to do.
More towards like senior year, though, I like stopped coming to school. I didn't go to school.
Everybody
I didn't get
got
to school
senioritis.
until like fifth period.
Wow.
Like every day.
Yeah. No, I don't even think I did that. I don't even think I think I did not come to school on senior cut day. I went to the beach. But like that was the one time where like I was like, I'll cut school. Like
When I first met you, I immediately got the impression that you were straight A student.
Really?
Immediately.
Why?
You just give off I did good in school vibes.
What kind of vibes is that?
It's just like smart. You're just smart. You know what I
Aw,
mean?
Thank you.
You're dopey as hell, but you're smart.
Wait, do you think I have like, you know how some people are like book smart and street smart or like just one? Mm-hmm. What kind of vibe
a lot
do you
of
get?
fucking people that are just one.
Yeah, me too.
You?
Yeah.
You're both.
Yeah, I feel like I have a
You're
little bit
both.
street smart.
You're dopey, but you're both. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm just street smart. I'm definitely not book smart.
You are street smart though.
Thank you.
Like I feel like you're not naive. Like
Try my best. What can I say?
you don't just believe like the first thing somebody says. I feel like,
Thanks.
you know.
I know a lot of people who are just book smart,
Me too.
and that is,
Not
it
really
hurts
the
my
best.
soul.
Yeah.
I can't be around people like that.
Not good. I also know people who are just street smart. And it's sometimes hard to be around them too. No.
No, I feel like my tell if somebody's going to remain in my life or not is if we're in a public setting and somebody else says something out of pocket. If I can look at you and make a face and be like, "What the fuck did that guy just say?" Like very sly though, you're golden.
Yeah.
But if I look at you and you're like, "What? What are you looking
Facts.
at?" I'm like, "Nope, we don't have that connection. I don't need you."
That happened to me the other day, bro. Like I like hanging out with people, like I'll see something or reference something or like notice something and like they don't get it. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
this isn't gonna work out.
No, like if you can't be sly and like
Yeah.
have a little
some awareness. Like
telepathic
yeah,
thing.
exactly. Gotta be on the same page, you know?
Period. Random question that I thought about. asking you.
Yes.
Were you? No, you came out in college,
Mm-hmm.
but in high school, were there any other trans people in your school?
Yeah, one.
One.
I'll never forget this kid, Alex, actually.
Oh wow.
And yo, I remember because I like low key followed his journey like through middle school because he was the guy on the wrestling team who he came out as trans in literally like 6th grade. And he joined
6th grade?
Yeah, he joined the wrestling team in middle school in 8th grade. And he like got shit on bad, like by a lot of the guys in school. And like I remember actually I remember seeing him at dismissal like every single day because he had a girlfriend. And I was like, good for this kid. Like the fact that like he's in middle school where all that pressure and all that like bullying and shit takes place, and like he's walking around with his girlfriend and like he doesn't give a fuck, you know, like
Especially like back then. I mean, it wasn't like too long ago, but like
no, but it was worse back then.
yeah,
Worse.
because I remember being in high school and like I didn't even like when I was a freshman, sophomore, like I was ignorant to it. I had no freaking
No, me
idea what being trans was about. I had no
No
clue.
shot.
No idea.
If I didn't see this kid in middle school, I wouldn't have on my own like started looking at different people on YouTube and like starting to figure out what it means. Did you like have anybody to like look at or like look up to in a sense? Like
Look up to? No, there was one other trans kid in the grade below me, and I remember like remembering that they were trans, and I was like, wow, that's cool. I'm
Yeah.
interested in that.
Yeah.
But like didn't really make the connection
didn't
with
register.
myself until like way later.
Yeah.
But-
That was like me, even in little 6th grader, like looking at this kid in 8th grade, like I was like, I want to join the wrestling team. Like, you know, like there were little things like where I'm like, I want to wear those shorts. Like, you know, like I want those boxers. Like,
Wrestling, though, I would never.
dude, I honestly yo, and actually, I recently came across a kid who wrestled in high school who was trans, and I was like, yo, good for you. And this was like recent, like a few months ago.
That's terrifying.
Yeah,
That's so
very, very. And that kid Mac on Instagram, he was a state champ, and he had to wrestle with girls post transition.
Fuck that.
Yep.
Fuck that.
Yep, and people in the stands, bro, would scream shit at him. Like, oh, you're beating up a girl. Like,
So then why are you putting him there?
Exactly.
Why are you putting him there?
Texas.
For real. What the fuck?
Yep. They would scream shit at him in the middle of the match.
People are confused.
Yeah.
People are so confused.
People are deranged.
Because like you
They
put him,
are.
you make him play with girls, and then you're gonna scream that he's
Yep.
beating up girls.
Yep.
Like yeah, he is because you made him.
Yep.
It's your fault.
Yep.
Like what?
I know.
He's at such an advantage.
I know.
And if he played with cis men, he would not have an advantage.
Exactly.
He'd be the same.
Yeah, I know.
There was no difference there. I promise you.
I know.
Like
I know. Trust me.
it hurts.
It's
It hurts my
ridiculous.
heart. Random question for you.
Yeah.
Do you know when trans guys look, the whole point, I think, typically for a trans guy is to be able to pass as cis. But sometimes I feel like there are trans men out there that try a little too hard to be cis. Does that make sense?
So, like, in terms of like passing, or like
Not
they
in
don't
terms
want to
of
acknowledge
passing.
that they're trans.
They don't acknowledge that they're trans.
That's a trend.
Yeah, not a trend that I've liked,
Nah.
to be honest. I remember
I never wanted to do that.
Neither do I. I mean, like, I get, like, at your place of work or, like, in a social setting where you don't feel safe.
Yeah.
Never out yourself if you don't feel safe.
No.
But, like, on, like, I don't know. I remember being freshly trans. And I don't know if have you ever seen Wesley Tucker
Yes.
on, yeah.
I was in love with him.
I was in love with him, too.
In love.
And I didn't even know he was trans.
You can't
And
tell.
I was
mean,
trans. And
no. You can't.
No, you can't. I didn't even know. But he was so like not open about it.
Yeah, he's
like he
cis.
said it once maybe in
He's
his
cis.
entire
Yeah.
And nobody else knew. I knew because I saw his scars.
Yep,
And that's
me
something that
too.
only I could have seen.
Me too.
But like, and nobody else would have noticed that. You know what I mean?
Yes, I remember showing girls in high school him and them being like, "Oh my god, he's so hot," and they had no idea.
None. Yeah.
And he's not open about it.
No, he's not.
And
And
I
that's
actually,
fine. Like, I'm not saying you have to be open about the fact that you're trans. Like,
No.
that is fine. It's just like, I don't know. I could never do that.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, because I think there's an importance about being visible for the people who can't, you know? Like, we're coming on this podcast, like, not just to be like two cis guys, like, talking about this stuff. Like, we want to be open about who we are so that we can help the other people in the community watching.
Right. And when people don't do that, I think
It doesn't help
with their
anybody.
platforms, I'm kind of just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You have a voice. You
Yeah.
understand. Like, you have knowledge that you're not sharing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree 100%. And like, I don't know anybody's family life or like the situations like that, because being visible on social media can be difficult in that
it's
sense.
very
But
hard.
I'm even noticing it too with us. Like, it's starting to make me realize that like I have to choose a career path and choose just a path for myself where I can be open and honest about my experiences and who I am, and not have to hide that in a workplace or hide that in other facets of my life.
And I think it's kind of hard to like sit here and remember and know that everybody I know will probably
watch this.
see this and hear the words that I'm saying, and then I have to see them and know that they know information about
Yeah.
me. You know what I mean? Because it's one thing putting everything out to strangers online, but it's a whole other thing when you're like low-key talking about people that affected your transition.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
That's facts.
But it's a cool way to like not have to tell them directly. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Be like, you fucked up.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. And I'm starting to realize too, like, I think in the beginning of this, I was like, okay, this is just going to be kind of like, it goes out there, but only really like trans guys are going to see it. Like, I'm realizing now that like probably everybody in my life eventually will come across this and like hear what I have to say. And so
It's
like,
scary.
it is.
It's kind of scary.
It is. I'm like, do I have to quit my job? You know, like, I'm like, do I have to find like,
for real.
I mean, I want this to be my career, you know?
No, yeah.
Like, this to me is social work. Like, this is advocacy, and like the fact that we're using a platform not just to like, I don't know, not just to become famous. We're doing it to reach people who didn't have this growing up.
And you know, I was one of those people that like didn't have a passion for anything
Me
coming
too.
out of high school. I didn't go to college because I didn't want to spend all the money when I didn't even know what I wanted to do. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I knew that I always wanted to help the trans community in any way that I possibly could, but I just didn't know how.
Yeah, me too.
So this is fun.
Yeah. No, for real. I thought like, you know, like I really thought social work, like the general idea of like being a therapist, like was what I wanted, but that's so far off. Like, I want to do advocacy, like in any avenue that is, like whether it's in an organization, whether it's just through this, like, you know, I don't want to have to bite my tongue in places and like feel like I can't speak up.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Because we've been, bro, and I was saying this to my friend who was also feeling similarly, and he's in the social work field, and I was telling him, we've been pushed in the closet for so long that like we're now able to like wake up and walk outside and be 100% us. It's like nothing should stop that.
I mean, people will still have problems with it, but like, I do feel like we're at a point. I don't know.
We shouldn't feel like we need to hold back because of what other people are gonna think. Like, that's for me, like, and that's why I don't want to be in a career path that would try to quiet that voice that I want to use, you know?
Yeah. I mean, because it's hard to begin with to get on here and like say all these things
Exactly.
and to feel like you're not allowed to adds on to that for sure.
Exactly. But now I'm at a point where whatever happens, like I'm doing whatever I need to do to just make sure we keep this up. Like I really, this is what I want to be my passion and my career and like what we do long term.
Slay, me too.
Cause yeah. Do you remember like how we first? Because I actually remember our phone call. When I was at my house. It was like It was like one night we got on the phone and we were like, somehow the mention of starting a podcast came up. And like literally from that day forward, we put a plan into motion. Like we didn't even take a beat. Like,
Yeah, I had just quit my job the day before.
was that it?
I quit my job the day before, and I was just sitting at my desk, and I was like,
It's crazy.
what do I want to do with my time?
Yeah.
And then I just thought about you, and I was like,
Oh,
wow, I've never had a trans friend before that I could speak to and like talk openly about trans things. Like I've never had that. And like, wow, I would love to like show the world that we're normal fucking people.
yep.
Because so many people don't understand that we are
Normal.
very normal. Normal. And then I was like, podcast.
Yeah.
And then I didn't even have the thought for more than 3 seconds before I texted you.
Wow.
For more than 3 seconds.
Wow.
And then from there on out, I think the next day, we cleaned out my entire garage.
Wow.
The next day. I quit my job, let's say on a Tuesday. On a Wednesday, we had the idea. And then on Thursday, we were cleaning out my garage for the studio.
And we did that in a day, bro. We did that in like a day. We went hard. I mean, and props to your mom. Like, thanks to your mom and
Thank
like
you, Mom.
for letting us use the space and like it's mind boggling to me that like with anybody else, it would have never gotten here.
No, offense to any of the people in my life, but I don't think not a single person would have took the idea and ran with me.
Yeah, because we also knew that like how much it was gonna take.
Yeah.
And we didn't care. Like we were willing to put that in and risk it.
I mean, yeah, no, this studio took over 6 months
Yeah,
to
easy.
build, and we built the entire room.
Yeah,
The entire
from
freaking room.
scratch. This was a garage, bro. A 2-car garage.
Yep.
Like, and we just got in here after we cleaned it out, and we were like, "All right, let's just, I guess, make a floor plan." And we didn't know what we were doing.
Not at all. A lot of YouTube videos and a lot of help from my dad.
Yeah, your dad is a
Couldn't
G.
have been here without my dad.
Yeah, he helped. I mean, yeah, because he had the construction knowledge, and he helped us with all the electrical stuff, the drywall. Like, I don't think people realize, like, when they look at this, like, this was nothing before.
It was nothing. Do you know how long it took us to find paint colors?
Oh my god! Do you know how many stages of this where I was like, it's just never gonna end. Like, we're never gonna get there. Like, and then we got there.
Yeah, but my sense of the way I think is I would rather it look as perfect as it can before we start rather than like having it evolve over time. Like I think this will evolve and we'll change it, but like it's never my favorite when like you start from the bottom and like I don't know. You know
I agree. And you know, it's funny because we used to low key argue about that because I would be like, you know, like, oh, it doesn't have to be perfect, Cody. Like,
I am a perfectionist, I know.
Yeah, but usually I am too. But I think like I started realizing that there was a lot of like weight in the fact that if you start perfect, you're putting out quality content from the jump.
Yeah,
like we looked professional from day one. Like we didn't have to work up to that.
That's everything that I wanted.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah,
yeah. Is it everything you imagined?
And more.
Oh, I love that. I really couldn't picture myself sitting here with anybody else.
No facts, me either. Not even another trans guy.
And we met on Bumble BFF, like, and we're here. That like is fate to me. Like. That shit doesn't just happen.
No, I know. And you know, every single person that, like, in my life, like, all my friends, every single one of them has pointed out that story that we told from the first episode. They're like, that Bumble story killed me.
Yeah. Because it's wild.
No, I know.
Like, you just never know, like, who you're going to come across.
Nope. It's true.
And every other trans guy I was talking to, it never went anywhere else.
There was one other trans guy that I found on Bumble BFF, and he left me on red.
Yeah. Not cool.
During Pride Month, too.
So I won.
What's up with that?
It could have been him, bro.
That would be crazy.
I won.
I have another random question for you.
Yes.
What was it like realizing you had dysphoria before you were trans? Like, did you... did you, like, hate yourself?
Yeah.
And then be like, I hate myself. Oh, it's because I'm trans? Or were you, I'm trans. Oh, that makes sense. I hate myself.
I think both. Because, like, You know how it started for me, and I tell people this like when they ask. It started in middle school. I was a runner. Like I did cross country. I did track like year round.
Ooh,
And like
a runner.
but like I developed like kind of low key like an eating disorder from it. And like I thought it was because I just hated the way my body looked because of that like middle school era of like everybody hates their body. But like I didn't realize I hated my body, and no matter how much I worked out, no matter how much I ate healthy, no matter how much I didn't eat, I still hated my body. Like, and I was like, okay, like this is going on
Something's
for
wrong.
yeah. I'm like, this is going on for quite a long time. And then obviously, like I had a sweet 16. That was
I can't imagine that.
but see, at the time I wanted it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, of course. You don't know.
Exactly. But like it doesn't take away from the fact that I still knew at that time like something was wrong.
No, yeah.
You know,
It's
like
a feeling. You just don't know how to make that, like, put that feeling into words.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And so you just let it kind of just be in the back. Like it was in the back seat for a long time. And I'll never forget this, Cody. When I was in college, but the night before I came out to my family, I was sitting in the parking lot at Stony Brook, and I was with my girlfriend at the time, and I was just listening to Eminem, bro, on repeat and crying my eyes out. Like, and I was just like, I literally like,
Oh, no.
like, it's now or never. Like,
No, yeah.
I knew to the point where I was like, if I go another day, I'm going to blow my brains out.
And at that point, when you were in the car crying, listening to Eminem, were you like, did you have short hair? Were you like presenting
Yeah.
like, as male? You just didn't tell your family yet?
I wasn't binding or anything like that. Like I had legally changed my name to shortened version of my dead name at that time. But like I wasn't I never came out as trans. It was only with my girlfriend that we were using he, him pronouns exclusively. She was calling me Alex, like,
Wow.
and that's when I was like, holy shit, like this isn't something that's just like it needs to go somewhere else now. Like it needs to be out now.
Like you hit a point where it's like, okay, because everything is in steps. You know what I mean? Like, first it's the girlfriend.
Yep.
The girlfriend calls you. What
It's
you need to
always
be
the
called.
girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean, of course. And then it's a few friends.
Yep.
And then it's more people at school. And then it's like, okay, well, shit. Like now I have to tell my mom because, like, how could you not tell your mom?
No, of course.
And then everything in motion. You know what I mean?
You know what though? For me too, like it actually like I skipped a lot of those steps. Like it was only with my girlfriend, and then that next night I was at home and I was like to my parents, I need to tell you something. Like I never came out to. Actually, no, I was out to that kid Cameron, who I was texting after therapy and stuff, because he started calling me Alex. So really only two people in my life knew before I told everybody.
For me, I think my girlfriend at the time, then my bestie at the time, and then a few other friends. And then everybody at school. Because those friends would just call me by my name and use he, him pronouns in front of everybody else at school until everybody else just caught on. So they kind of like came out for me.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's
I didn't
nice
really
to have.
Yeah.
See, that's why I took a year off, because I could not go through school and explain to everybody what was going on. Like,
yeah. You know what's weird though? Like and this is just how I perceived it. I'm not sure this is true at all. Don't really think that it is. But like, I feel like I was hated more at school before I was trans. And then once I came out as trans, people started to like me more.
Really?
Which is wild.
That is wild.
It is really wild. I think I was just more confident and more outgoing maybe.
Good for
like,
you.
Really weird. I made more friends after I was trans.
You were probably confident in yourself.
Yeah.
I did too, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to really be outgoing pre-transition. Like, and I actually was super quiet in college before I came out. Like, I was off and everybody around me knew it. And like, I think everybody around me could see it going somewhere, you know, like could see that like, okay, this kid's struggling with something, you know, like
Something going on.
yeah, like because I was just super depressed, like, and you know, I would put up a front, like, and do what I had to do, but like at the end of the day, like when it was just like me and my thoughts, and then like I had to do the next day all over again, like that's when it really started wearing on me.
Yeah.
I can't explain that feeling, dude. Like I really can't. It really feels like there is the weight of the entire world on your shoulders.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
No,
it's a new thing too. And then back then when we were in high school, college, whatever, like being trans, like the word transgender was still a fairly new word. Not new, but like people just didn't talk about it like they talk about it now.
No.
You know what I mean, everyone knows what the word transgender means now. But like back then, I mean, not a lot of people. I mean, some people. But like, I don't know.
How did you know that you had dysphoria? Like when did you notice it?
Honestly, I didn't. I always knew something wasn't right. You know what I mean? Like I
It's that feeling.
was never happy with the body that I was given.
Yeah.
But I didn't know why. But I wasn't like, I didn't start really, really hating it until after I realized I was trans. Like I hated it. It wasn't my favorite, but I didn't know why. And because
Yeah.
I didn't understand it, I couldn't hate it as much as I did after.
That actually makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes that thought used to make me really dysphoric. That thought alone, because then I was like, fuck, did I make myself dysphoric by being trans? Like,
Because there's some things inevitably you can't fix or change.
yeah.
Yep.
And then I was like, wait, am I trans? Like,
Yeah.
if I wasn't crazy dysphoric before I knew that I was trans, am I even trans? And I struggled with that for a long time.
Yeah, that's a toughie.
It was like kind of scary because like I moved fast in my transition.
Me too.
And like after you tell everybody like, oh hey, this is my new name, these are my pronouns, and you change your name and you go through all the motions, and then to have a thought where it's like, am I sure? You know what I mean? Like I am sure. I know that I'm sure. But like everybody who is going through a transition
Hits that at some point.
has a little doubt.
That happened to me
You know
when I
what I mean?
legally changed it.
It's like fuck.
Yeah, I was like,
can't go
fuck, this is
back.
it. But then that put pressure on me to keep going fast with my transition because I wanted everything to look like it was. I was supposed to be who I was. Like that pressure was the reason I took a year off from school. Like because I didn't want to go to school as Alex and not pass. Like. Or not be on T, or not have facial hair, or not have my voice drop. Like, yo, I want to show you this video.
Yes.
Because talking about dysphoria, like, you know how in one of the episodes I had said to that argument of like, oh, so you're like you can say that you're a guy, but biologically you're a female, and I was like, no, actually, I'm not.
Yeah. Okay. So I remember you saying, biologically, I am male, and I agreed with you. I 100% agree with you. I don't think I understood the extent to what you were saying, and because there's a lot of trans people out there that are like, you know, fine, like biologically I am not male, biologically I'm female, and a lot of trans people are okay with that,
Yeah,
and
that's facts.
they take that. And
I don't take that.
I don't either. Again, I've said this before because I feel like when you feel like you have to put the word trans in front of your gender,
It takes that away.
I feel like you are insecure and you're pretending.
You're letting the other side dictate who you are.
Exactly.
Because they want you to say that you're still a female.
Like, why? Just call yourself the gender that you are, the
Exactly.
gender that you are presenting yourself as. I don't get that. Like, yes, I am a trans man, and I that is something I'm proud of. But every time somebody asks me what I identify as, I'm not going to say trans man every time. I'm going to say I identify as male because I identify as male.
Yeah. I was going to ask you an off-topic question for a second.
Yes.
If you ever get a dating app, do you feel like you have to say that you're a trans man?
I don't really use dating apps, but if I were to, yeah, I probably would.
I do, just so I could ward off everybody who's not okay with that.
Because I don't want to be talking to nobody who's
Nope.
transphobic. I don't
Nope.
even want that in my
Nope.
life.
I'd rather put it on there from the jump.
Yeah.
And if you like me, then swipe.
Exactly. Like I'd rather you just see it rather than me have to have that fucking conversation with you. You know what I mean? What were you gonna show me
All
there?
right, let me show you this.
Sex and gender, people try to argue that they're different, but sex and gender actually go hand to hand. And our biology, being a man, comes down to every fiber within our body. So whether that be DNA, chromosomes, testosterone levels, bone density.
Oh, okay, so I'm a male.
There's a whole bunch of different
My T
factors that
levels.
go into it, and it all has to do with biology.
So biology, I 100% believe in biology. Today we talk about biology being a social construct. I disagree with that as a transgender person. I was born biologically female. I always acknowledge that, and today I live as a male. Now that being said, sex and gender, they are trying to separate those things. Gender can be, I've chosen my gender. As you see, nobody would, I think, probably understand that I used to be a female. Now, many people do, like you just said, believe that sex and gender are one thing and you can never change those. I'm not trying to change anything. I'm trying to show the world that this is how I feel by presenting the outside. But I think denying biology is where we get into a lot of problems.
If you want to be
Okay. Look, whatever. Buck, his name is Buck.
Buck, my boy.
He's pretty famous within the trans community. Like,
See, I didn't even know that till this.
I've known his name for a long time.
I've seen him.
He said it. I think he was the first trans person in LA,
to change his
name.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. But Buck,
Yeah, Buck's a little out of touch.
yeah, I don't know. I fully support in how he feels about his gender. And
Don't speak for me though, bro.
yeah,
That guy.
yeah. Like, I don't know. He's fine saying that he's not biologically male, but like what he's doing is catering to what
To the
they
other
want to
side.
hear. And in that entire video, he's like, I support
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
To all these conservative men who hate him and think that he's a monster. He's
Yeah.
like, I support how you feel.
Yeah.
Like, I just
I'm
want
not
to
trying
make you
to
feel
change the
comfortable.
definition.
Like, Buck, I think you're a little insecure, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Why are you trying so? And see, I notice this in older generation trans people is that they hardcore try to appease the status quo.
Right.
Because I think growing up, they were closeted so hard that they're craving that acceptance so bad.
Yeah.
And that's my one empathetic piece to that. But on the flip side, like, you saying that you're not a biological male is just caving into the idea that we are never going to be men.
Right. And because going back to what you said in one of the last episodes, you were like, I said this before, you were like, biologically, I am male. I understood what you were trying to say, but only to a certain extent. And after watching that video, one of the trans men in there said that he was biologically male. And then he goes, biologically, I am male because I've been taking testosterone. I've been taking testosterone and I'm changing myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm changing my own biology. And I was like, yo, like you change your own
That's
biology
exactly what
by
I
doing
said.
that. And he goes, biologically, I am male. Anatomically, I am female.
Yeah.
And like, I can get on board with that.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I can
it's
get
better
on
than
board with that.
nothing.
Yeah.
But like, I'm never gonna sit there and say anatomically I'm
No,
a
I
female
wouldn't
either.
either.
Like,
No, I wouldn't either.
But I get it. Like, if you want to go by fucking the encyclopedia, okay. Like,
But why
we'll
do we
talk.
have to do that?
Exactly.
Why do we have
bro.
to do that?
Because guess what? Who made words? I don't know. A person? Just like a person made the Bible. Just like a person wrote the Constitution. Who made up this definition of the word?
That's true. Like,
Come on, bro. Like,
Nothing
get
matters.
with it.
Like,
Exactly,
nothing
bro,
matters. What are we
nothing.
doing?
Why do we care, bro? Call yourself a biological male, bro. If you think that you're a male, you're a biological male, you're an anatomical male, you're a social male, you're a physical male.
how about we just live
exactly
and we stop caring about what other people do?
It doesn't matter, bro. Biology does not determine gender. A, B, the fact that somebody constructed this idea that if you have this genitalia and chromosome, you're this. If you have this genitalia and chromosome, you're that. Like, somebody made that up.
Yeah, like, tell me what a chromosome is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me what a chromosome
Yeah,
is.
I
Like,
know.
what?
I know.
Can you see my chromosomes? Like, why? Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know.
Exactly, bro.
It's weird.
If somebody looked at me, do you think I'm what even is male chromosome? XY?
Male is XY.
Okay, if you looked at me, would
I
you
was
think
only
I'm a
re-
double X? Like, no.
I was only reminded of what chromosomes were what because someone commented on one of our videos. He goes, "You have XX chromosomes."
Oh my god.
Okay.
Some of the comments are really funny because like people literally just want to find our video to say stuff like that, which is so nuts.
And they only know that we're trans because we talk about being trans.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
And like that, I'll die on that hill. Like, I don't care how many times like we're open about being trans. It doesn't take away from the fact that we are guys. Like, we're guys through and through. We're guys just like you. Like,
Guys just like you. Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. That shit really pisses me off, the whole biology thing. And then it brings me back to like, seriously, how do you respond back to somebody fighting you? Like, because then let's say we say, well, no, I got T. I'm on top. I got top surgery. I'm on T. I got top surgery. I got a histo. And then what if they're like, okay, well, what about him? He didn't do all that. He's a biological female. What do you say? Like,
right. Because that trans guy who said I am biologically male because I'm changing my own biology.
Exactly. I don't even want to say that.
Somebody rebutted with, okay, what about people who haven't started testosterone? And he was like, well, then they haven't yet changed their own biology.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I guess that's valid.
It's valid. I mean,
but like they still don't have to fucking call themselves a biological female.
And why do you want them to like
admit that?
Yeah, like
they really want to admit
move.
it. Yes.
It's a weird power move
Yep.
where it's like, say you're a biological woman. Say it. Say it now.
That's the whole. I honestly think that has to do with male privilege too. Like they just like it has to be their way or nothing. Like you can't question their ideologies. You can't question their way of thinking. You can't question how the Constitution was written. Like you know.
And speaking on the male privilege, that video that we posted where we're just like cis men have male privilege, which is like a fact, and though we had so many comments of cis men being like, it's harder to be a man. I don't have male privilege. I thought that was the wackest shit I've ever seen in my life. You fucking pick me. Like
you can have it hard as a man, but there's no denying the fact that we have privilege. Like that's just a fact. Like
I don't know how you can look at men as a society and say that you don't have privilege. I don't know how you can do that.
Because they have no awareness of what the other side lives like. They only know what their life is like and what they wake up and experience in this world, and they're not open to seeing the other side. Obviously that's obvious because of what's her name? Kelly Cadigan was saying no matter how many times she would say things to appease them, they still didn't accept her.
Yep.
They still denied it.
Yep. And it reminds me of that middle ground video that we were just showing. There was the conservative men, and there's one gay guy in that video.
He's famous, he said.
He's on TikTok. I got to get his name because he is a hateful fucking person.
Yeah.
And he was the one he was sitting there being like, none of you men, none of you trans men in front of me are real men. And he was like not respecting.
Okay, and you're not actually gay, so get out of here.
Yeah, fuck you.
Like
for real,
dude. And this makes me heated about the whole topic of the separation within our community, bro. And that's why I always used to say, separate me, put me in the T category away from LGBT, because like.
There was a kid in my high school who was gay, and he hated trans people.
I know gay girls that hate trans people. I know gay girls that don't understand what it is to be trans and knock the first thing they hear about the trans experience and question it to my face. To my face.
No, it's some real pick-me shit, if I'm being honest. Like, you're the only one who's allowed to struggle.
And you know what, though? You know why? Let me tell you. Because
tell me now.
They grew up with very similar experiences, being a tomboy, thinking they wanted to be a boy, and then they go, oh, I'm just a lesbian. so that means you guys aren't actually trans. You guys are just lesbians too, because I was a tomboy and I wasn't trans. Okay.
Oh, I'm
but-
like so happy for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, congratulations.
You think we woke up
you didn't have
and
to
we
go
were
through a
like,
world of fucking pain.
exactly.
Like, what the fuck?
People literally are out here like, oh yeah, they're just pretending because they think they feel that way. Dude, do you think I would wake up and put my body through fucking hell because I felt like it?
Yeah, dude, if I could remain a lesbian.
My life would have been easier, bro. I would have had mad girls.
You know, that's what my
like-
dad said to me when I came out. He was like, why don't you just stay the way you are?
Fuck. See, like,
Excuse me, sir.
dude, my life would have been easier as a gay girl. Are you kidding me?
If it was a choice, I would have chose that.
Exactly. Like, and that's, but they take that and they're like, well, that's why we shouldn't let our kids transition because look at me. I thought I wanted to be a boy, but I'm just a gay girl. Okay, but that's your experience. You can't speak for a whole category of people that we already know exist and already know that
No, it's
have
everyone
dysphoria.
not thinking past their own opinions.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I have this opinion. It's the only one that fucking matters, even though there's
Exactly.
7 fucking billion people in the world.
Exactly. Then, God, like, I still feel like we're so misunderstood in the LGBTQ community because, like, people don't realize too that like sexual orientation and that coming out process is so different. Like, we're coming out and then changing our entire biology at times when we have dysphoria.
Yep.
Like, at least when you're gay and coming out, it's kind of like a one and done. You come out and you live your life. We come out and then we continue having to battle these experiences and these struggles, and it never ends.
Never. And I mean, I feel like with gay men, like that guy from the video who hate trans people, I feel like those types of gay men are feminine. They're feminine because gay men typically are feminine. I feel like they're insecure about that and they have to protect their own manhood. So to do that, they look at you and me and say, you're not
What
a
are
man.
we, threatening?
You're not a man. Like, what?
Why? Because we're masculine?
Like,
I don't get that.
because I'm more masculine than
Yeah.
you and you are biologically a man.
Yeah, it's stupid. Everybody's insecure, and that's really what it comes down to.
Yep.
And people just always want to have like a rebuttal, like, and see, that's still something I'm trying to figure out how to navigate. Like, how do you kind of just like know when something is your battle to fight and when to just walk away because you're never going to get through to the person in front of you sometimes.
Pick and choose your battles.
Exactly. But we're out of time.
We are out of time. Thank you so much if you made it this far. We really appreciate it. We have a lot of Patreon content coming out, so if you are interested in that, we would be really, really grateful if you subscribe to our Patreon at
Yes.
HRT.
$5.
$5. And yeah, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at HRT Podcast. We are posting a bunch, and we're having a really good time, and we thank you so much for watching. All the love and support has meant everything to us, and
Thank
this
you.
is what we want to do. So keep watching, keep subscribing, keep liking, keep loving us, and yeah,
See you next time.
bye.
Bye.